Good,
Good evening,
good,
everybody. This is David Mitchell's guest, so I'm kicking it over to Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
good afternoon, everyone. We got a special guest, another episode of the Keep Going podcast, Athletes Shining a Light on Mental Health. We got Ryan in the house today. How we doing, Ryan?
I'm doing well. Yeah, excited to be here. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, yeah, thanks for coming on. We're doing good. Pat, how we doing today?
Everything's good, man. A lot going on, a lot of positive stuff going on. Jackie, you're traveling still, huh?
Yeah, I had a business trip this weekend, but I'm back in New York now, here till Wednesday.
I love a good business trip. I love a
Yeah,
good
I'm
business
looking for
trip.
my voice. If anybody can find my voice, I think it's somewhere in Illinois, but hopefully I'll find it soon.
I love it. I love it. Well, Ryan, I'm gonna kick it over to Dave, do a lot of the questions early on, but tell me why you want to come on the podcast today.
Yeah, I think so Dave and I connected in Colorado playing some golf. And yeah, I mentioned that I used to be a freestyle skier, and I've had experience in athletics and also like mental health stuff. And I'm currently in school, in grad school in social work, going down like the mental health like pathway. So yeah, I think we like connected over that, had some good conversation. And yeah, Dave was like, dude, you want to come on the podcast? Like, I do this podcast with a couple guys. I was like, yeah, dude, let's do it.
No, I love that, man. Well, tell me about the skiing background. When did you get into skiing? How far did you go with it? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, boy, I don't remember learning to ski. I started probably sometime around like 3 or 4. And then, yeah, I was lucky that like my family, I lived in Denver at the time, but we commuted to Steamboat, Colorado. So I got to ski like every weekend, and then eventually we moved there. And everybody in the town like just skied, and like that's what they did. So I started doing it, did it more. Initially started racing, and then I switched to freestyle mogul skiing. So bumps and jumps, and kind of just like had a knack for it. I don't know. I liked jumping, and I liked like the moguls and kind of the chaos. Um, did it through high school, and then figured like when I was applying to colleges, I was kind of like not really sold on college. And I was like, well, I could like post grad for a year and like just do skiing, focus on skiing. And I had success in high school. Like I won some events, just like regional in Colorado. And then that post grad year, I made the US ski team.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And that was kind of like, whoa, like I guess I'm doing this now. So my career on the US ski team was certainly full of like I think like ups and downs, like good moments and then moments of like learning and growth. Um, so I spent 3 years on the team and then got kicked off the team actually. And then like 2 years in between where I was like, wow, I still want to ski, but I need to like kind of learn how to be a professional and like kind of commit more of my time to this and like really like, dot my I's and cross my T's. And then, yeah, in 2015, I made the team again. Had a great year. I won the North American Tour that year, and yeah, got to do some World Cups. And yeah, let's see, in 2014 at Sochi, I was not, yeah, didn't ski well, didn't quite make it to that Olympics. And then in 2018 was like towards the end of my career. And yeah, again, just didn't quite like figure out the beta to make it to the O show, but definitely had a lot of success. And I look back and I think, I don't know. I'm just like very grateful for the travel experience, and like I feel like I learned so much as like a human and like how to be like a professional. Um, but yeah, so I spent I guess like 6 years on the national team, competed internationally, won an ORAM tour, and yeah, chose to hang it up in 2018. And I was like, well, I should go back to school now, maybe.
Yeah, a couple questions off the bat. One, was your mustache always this awesome when you were doing this, first and foremost? Let me parlay that with number two. Do you feel like the mental health piece came from that career, or was it something you found after that? Go ahead.
Yeah, great questions. Stash was not involved in the skiing career.
Oh man, you would have still been skiing, brother.
Dude,
Go
if it
ahead.
had been, yeah, dude, still be out there. uh, No, the stash was a after skiing thing, but yeah, I did it for the holidays last year, and then it's just kind of stuck around for now.
I love it, man. You look good. Handsome man. Go ahead.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And then second question, yeah, mental health, dude. Yeah, that grew like towards the end of my skiing career. I think I started to realize like when I made the team again in 2015. That was like a moment where I learned like, oh, physically is like just kind of one piece of the puzzle to like really like compete at a really high level. Um, I also need to like have my mental health and my like being ready for like whatever can happen within an event is so deeply connected to like where I'm at mentally. Um, and so I think like over the course of like the latter half of my career was where I learned to really like notice my mental health and take care of my mental health. And like the more that I did that, the better I skied and the better I felt. Yeah, so that was a product through I think towards the second half of my career.
Yeah, I think that's amazing for athletes to hear. It's not always that easy. From Jackie's perspective, I saw her come off a mute. I could see where she's going with this. I'm gonna kick it to her. Go ahead.
I mean, the thing I'm thinking of right now is I group skiing with track and field, whereas like I lose a game, I have a bad game, and I could turn to my teammates and we dealt with it together. What's the mental health landscape of skiing? How do you deal with that when it's more of an individualized sport?
Yeah, totally. And I played team sports growing up, but there is, I think skiing it is individual. There's some team aspects to it. And at least on the national team, like we're all supporting each other. But at the end of the day, especially when we're competing for like very few like Olympic spots or like World Cup spots, we all like know that we have to beat each other. And it's like everybody's cordial, but there's, we're all out there as professionals and like we know what we have to do at the end of the day. You got to do your best. And I think, yeah, skiing and mental health. The thing about skiing is it's so high risk. Like you're pushing the boundaries of like where you have control on the mountain. You are pushing the limit to like where you kind of aren't in control, but you're able to like hang on. And then if you're able to do that, you're probably going to win. But everybody's trying to do that. So I don't know, those gray areas of like control and risk. And I would think in track and field too, like, because those events are so quick, right? You have like, I don't know, it's like burst, like sprinting, or like they don't take a long time. So you have to like prep mentally and then just like turn your brain off and trust that process. I feel like skiing is similar with that and the risk factor. You gotta trust it and yeah, believe that you've done the prep mentally to get through it. Yeah.
I love that answer. I love that answer. I gotta ask one more question. Like I said, I know you met Dave. I always talk about God winks and like the string theory, man. It's kind of
Yeah.
cool how you meet someone you said on a golf course, man. Then all of a sudden you're sitting here on a Sunday having this deep conversation. I love it. Obviously the preface of our podcast is the keep going moment.
Yeah.
Obviously you've skied at a high level. You're one of the top athletes we've had on here in 150, episodes, which is super awesome to have you. So thank you for
Yeah.
taking the time. Where's the keep going moment in this? Like, what is the moment that you got through that the normal man or woman wouldn't have got through? Go ahead.
Like in my career,
Anything, brother. It could be anything, any KG moment.
boy, I think of two. I think so when I lost my US ski team spot in 2013, that was like pretty devastating. I didn't ski well that year, and there were a couple people who did ski really well who weren't on the team. And so I kind of knew I was like, I don't know if I did enough to earn this spot back. And then the head coach and the director of the program called me and we're had that conversation. Like, hey, we have spots on the team that we only have so many and blah blah blah. And we're going to allocate those to somebody else. And that's hard to hear. And I think that moment, I had a choice. I could go down the school route or go job, and I think my heart was still in skiing. It was just so like that's what I love to do, and I felt I had so much purpose in life skiing, and I had moments of like giving back to the community that I feel, especially now, like I really enjoyed. Uh, so I changed everything. I worked with a different coach. Um, I cut a lot of things out of my life that I don't think were helpful. And I really just focused on the task at hand of like, what are my goals to get back on the US ski team and to be the best skier and person that I can be. Um, and so I chose to do that. I mean, that was really hard, but I chose to keep going. And it took 2 years before I made the team again. It wasn't something that just like happened. It took 2 years of work. And the first year wasn't great. Like I skied even worse because I was changing things in my skiing. There was a lot of kind of going back to the drawing board, but it paid off.
Yeah, mental warfare, man. I can't only imagine being on the top of the top for so long and having to change up things to get better. I mean, that's a tough pill to swallow, brother. Go ahead.
1000%. Yeah. And then I think hanging up the sticks too. I think like retiring from athletics, especially when that is something that you've done your whole life and that's something you value as a person, but also like you're recognized in that way. Moving on from sports can be hard. And I think another keep going moment for me is like going back to school and pursuing mental health. And like, just because I'm not a professional skier anymore doesn't mean that I can't do some amazing things. And I think that's a keep going moment too. Yeah.
Ryan, beautiful answers, man. I got to kick it over to Dave. David Mitchell's mailbag is hot, ready to go. So, Dave, let's go.
Yeah, one thing I did take away from that is that it can be hard sometimes, but good things usually take time and it takes effort. It doesn't happen overnight. And you have that ability and have that choice to decide to quit or keep going. And I think that says a lot about you, about that moment where you didn't make the team, got kicked off, and you just decided, okay, I'm going to go for it. And you spent 2 years, took 2 years to get back. So that's one thing that just stood out to me about who you are as a person. And that's not easy. And I want to transition into my first question here. When you did go through that hard time, kind of that transition period, was there anything that helped you the most, like people or faith or routine, um, something like that, when you were going through that hard time?
Yeah. That's a good question. I think it's two things. I think it was people. Yeah, for sure, community, people, and yeah, I would say faith too, actually, because it's so you don't know, like when those moments happen, there's no way to know what's like. I could have put forth 1,000% effort and it still may not have happened, and that's okay too. Um, but in that moment, I think yeah, like I knew in my heart, like there was faith there. I trusted that this is what I want to do, and this is really like who I am. Um, but even with that, like the people around me were so crucial in like I think getting me through those years, especially like my physical trainer, Chris Voidovic, who's
I'm
awesome.
about to say, shout the boy out. Yep.
Dude, yeah, Chris Voidovic, stud, really, really interesting mind. We did a lot of cool things in the gym that were specifically for mogul skiing that he just, uh, yeah, brainstormed. And then my coach too, Timmy Marr, who is just a like when you think of a coach or cornerman, like somebody who's just like in your corner, like he's the guy. I think those two dudes too trusted it, and they saw that I could do it, and they were there. Um, Even like right as I got let go from the team, like that spring, they were like, "We gonna get back to work or what? Like, let's go. Like, we know you can do this." And like so that helped pull me out of like, I think some of like, you know, like depression and like self-doubt that happens when, you know, you don't have the results that you want. Um, so I think it's two parts. Yeah, the people around me, and then that like intrinsic faith of like, I can do this, you know. It's hard to quantify
Yeah.
that, but it's a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I like that answer a lot. That kind of transitions me well into my next question. Going through that like hard time or feeling pressure, is there any advice that you would give out for someone that may be struggling with pressure or trying to be mentally tough and don't know like really how to open up during that hard time?
Yeah. Ooh, it's a good question. Yeah, because pressure is something all athletes are going to feel at some point, and I think sometimes you feel like you dealt with it well, then sometimes you're like, wow, that didn't go the way I thought. Um, I think for me, the moments where I dealt with pressure really well were moments where I didn't like overthink things. And like I found a way to kind of like get out of my head and just kind of like be present in the moment. And like, I don't know, maybe that's a weird way to like phrase it, but I think a lot of athletes who feel a lot of pressure and deal with a lot of pressure, and like they all do. But I think athletes specifically who like really struggle in pressure situations are probably overthinking a little bit. And it's natural, right? Like you want to like I got to do all these things like perfectly if I'm gonna get to my goal. And while that may be true, if you are constantly thinking about all those things that you need to do, you're probably going to not perform in the way that you could if you weren't thinking that way. So I think for me, what I found, honestly, super simple, like deep breaths. And like I try to like ground myself in like the present moment. So like feeling my body like somatically, like feeling my feet on the ground, feeling the clothing on my body, like my, you know, like, okay, like I may be thinking a lot up here about this moment, but my body is also here. And I can't perform without also like being really grounded. Yeah, pressure's tough. I wouldn't say that I like have like a perfect beta. I don't know if anybody does. Um, but I think finding a way to like, you know, get out of your own way almost. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Absolutely,
I
man.
think that's
Beautiful answer.
It
I think
does.
that's really important because like for me, I was definitely an overthinker. And I think what it comes down to is like me thinking about too much about the future, like what's gonna happen
Yeah,
next, instead of like
totally.
exactly what you were saying, like staying in the present moment and controlling what you can control is huge.
1000%. Yeah.
That's good stuff. My last question, is there any message you want to leave today that for athletes, listeners that may be struggling with their mental health out there?
Yeah, totally. Oh God, let me put my dog in the other room super fast. I'm so sorry. Great question.
Great mustache shot. Great mustache shot here. Just
We're,
screenshot
we're
that.
clipping the
Reframe it.
mustache.
That's all I want to do right now is do that. You take your time, handsome man.
Dude, love that you guys are down on the stash.
Let's go, baby.
I think I think something that's important is to like to remember to have fun. Like remember your why. Like why are you doing the sport? For most of us, we probably, hey Finn, dude, I know. It's so exciting. Can you sit? Um, Most of us probably got into sport to have fun. Like as kids or whatever, it was something that we enjoyed doing. And then I think like, dude, okay. As we age, and I think as we have success in sport, we feel more pressure. And I think we lose that like sense of like why we're there in the first place. Um, and like mental health in sports is tough too, because especially if you're struggling with your performance, and then obviously that's going to impact your emotions and mental health. I would encourage anybody to try to focus on their why. Like, why are you there? Is it fun still? And if it's not, like, that's okay. But I look back and I think the moments that I really struggled, I was like, yeah, like you said, Dave, like I was overthinking things. I was thinking about the future. Um, I wasn't really I wasn't really like remembering why I started to ski, which is because I just thought skiing was fun. I thought it was rad. I had fun with my friends, and then then I was really good at it, and then like I started winning, and then all of a sudden like all this pressure builds and expectation builds. Um, so maybe like remembering your why is like a good way to, I think address mental health in that moment, if that's helpful for people. Yeah.
Ryan, it is, man. And I will tell you, as a guy that works with athletes, you're spoken like an elite performer. It's not because you were such a great athlete. That's not why I'm complimenting you. I'm complimenting you because you've understood what the top of the top looks like and to still feel like shit, or the
Yeah.
bottom of the bottom, but still feel really good. There's so much power in that. Like, you have a lot of me and Jackie talked about over the weekend, like Aaron Rodgers qualities, like in the best way. Like, you're a guy that's open to anything, attached to nothing, and you're moving forward in your world. And it makes me happy to know that someone like yourself is going to be out there helping other people. So I have to thank you, and I know you helped a lot of people today. Jackie, I'll go to you. Dave, you wrap us, take us home.
I have a few things. First of all, to carry on with Pat was saying, you are incredibly well spoken. I could listen to you talk for 3 hours. I just feel like you have so much knowledge and you're a very grounded human being. Second of all, I'm in the car with my girlfriend who recently just stopped playing Division I softball, and she's been nodding her head the whole time. I think when you said that you had to hang up the skis and turn your purpose to something else is something that a lot of athletes lose sight of. I think people need to look at it in that through that lens of, okay, I have this bottle of energy and passion and heart that I just poured into this sport for years. Where do I put it now? My girlfriend right now is putting it into nursing school. You're putting it into social work, but I think that's that bridge that a lot of people don't know how to walk. So I love that you're walking it and you're putting it into a new cup that has purpose. And last thing, when you said a lot of people don't ask themselves, why did I start playing this sport? I got to a point when I was 19, 20 years old, and I was about to come back from an injury and play college basketball. And I had completely lost sight of why I started playing basketball. And I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I was doing it because I was comparing myself to other people. I was looking too far into the future. And so I just stopped playing. And sure, some days maybe I look back and wonder, okay, what if I did play? But I think I'm very happy with the situation of how things went because I can look back and know that I gave it my all. And I have good memories of wrapping up high school basketball with my twin sister and having amazing memories from that sport. And then I was able to pour that energy into different buckets. And I'm very grateful for that. And I like that you touched on that while you spoke today.
Thank you.
Amen. David Mitchell, what do you got, baby?
I don't think I can top that. This episode was definitely a all-timer. Ryan, thank you for spending your Sunday coming out here. I'm glad I met you on the golf course when I did.
Ryan,
thank
Ryan,
you.
I gotta say this. You've met Dave. You know Dave. You would have been proud of his dance floor moves over the last couple of days. That guy was cutting a rug. He was getting jiggy with it. He did it for everybody out there. If you need some film, I'll get you some film. This guy is not only a great athlete, but a great human being.
We were watching videos today, Jules and I, and all of a sudden Jules goes, "Wait, go back." And in one of the videos, it's just Dave like just crushing on the dance floor.
Yeah.
And now he has this like amazing denim shirt on. He just won the weekend.
Guy is a handsome young man as well. It's a handsome podcast. It's a great podcast. Ryan, national teamer, life changer, family man, a friend of the podcast. Thank you for being here, and always keep going, everybody.
Great job.
Shout out P. O'Malley and Ashton.
Thank you, brother.
What a way
Thank
to
you,
end the
brother.
weekend. Let's go.